I don't know if you want to get into this, or we want to punt this for next week.
Mm-hmm.
It made me think about it because during the wedding, I was just thinking about, love and all
Mm-hmm.
that crap in general,
Mm-hmm.
and it made me think about dating and dating
Mm-hmm.
here in the West,
Oh,
meaning,
yeah. Okay.
in America and Canada, whatever, and back
Yeah.
in the Philippines.
Mm-hmm.
And it made me think about the concept of ligaw
Mm-hmm.
and how there's really
How it all works.
there's really not a ligaw here. It's either
No.
you go on dates and then, you like each other. It's, you
Yeah.
guys start dating.
Yeah.
Over in the Philippines, it's you even have to ask for permission. The term "pwede ba akong manligaw," meaning can I court you?
Mm-hmm.
You have to ask that before something even starts.
Okay. Let
I
me
mean, for
challenge that
for
thought. Let me
for the
challenge
most
that
part.
thought. Yeah. Let me
Okay.
challenge that thought for a second. It's culture driven, right? I think that's what it all
Yeah,
is.
I mean,
That's
of
what it
course.
is, right? But I think we live in an age now where I don't know if people still do that, right?
I don't know either.
Right? Like we
Yeah.
could, like you and I could be talking about, you know, I don't, I don't have a good term for it, but kind of like a leftover of the past, right? With that term legal, and
Hmm.
you don't ask, you don't, if you guys are getting along and if things start to develop, then just fucking go at it, right?
But
The
you know what
fact
I
that you
mean,
have to
though.
ask,
Yeah, like
the
pwede
fact
bang
that you have to
manligaw.
ask,
You know how many times I've asked that and like been told no back in the day? Like,
no.
yeah, it's like,
Oh,
no, or just,
we don't talk about dating, but now that you brought it up, oh well, yeah, it's the same thing with me. Obviously, I've had a lot of rejections too, but I'm more
yeah,
picky
but
with,
for some reason, I forgot all about that, the concept of legal, because I've been here for so long, and it's just, I'm so immersed with the
hmm
culture here.
hmm
This is my culture, as far as I'm
hmm
concerned. So it's more of
hmm
a, all right, hey, I'm gonna talk to you. You know, you like me, I like you. Let's go out. Let's go out lunch. Go out to dinner.
hmm
Let's see how it goes. And then all of a
hmm
sudden, we're just dating. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's how it all is. Because if you get along with someone, then again, you can kind of tell too if, like, even the other person can tell if you're interested. Both of you guys can tell,
Oh,
right?
now I remember what my point to this, and
Okay.
I want to pose this question to you. So, some Filipino families, I'm about to sneeze. Some Filipino
Go
families
ahead.
here in the U.S. or Canada are still, traditional or have traditional parents,
hmm
right? Like
hmm
they still adhere to that culture.
hmm
So, if a guy is quote unquote Americanized and only go by what the culture, the norm of
hmm
America,
hmm
would you count that as disrespectful if he doesn't, the male doesn't adhere to what the girl's parents
I have a
are
good answer
imposing?
to I think I have a good answer to that question.
Okay. Is that disrespectful?
Hold on.
That,
Yeah, yeah.
wait, wait.
I totally understand what you're saying though, but here's the question. Does it matter to her? If it does, then yes, you have to adhere to it. If it doesn't matter, then you don't. It all boils down
Hmm.
to it's about her, not about the parents, right? You're not trying to legal the parents. You're trying to legal the you're trying to get with the girl. You're not trying to get with the parents. So it has to go. Which one are you trying to do in terms
So
of
it's
goals?
a so it's a standard. It's like a double standard.
How
So
is it a double
if
standard though?
if it's if the girl doesn't care so much about it,
Hmm.
then it's not disrespectful because she doesn't care about it.
Well, what makes it disrespectful in the first place, right? It's disrespectful from the eyes of the parents, or is it disrespectful from
Yeah,
her eyes?
it's from the eyes of the parents because
Well, what does she?
they want their daughter to be treated in a certain type of
Right.
regard. It's a
Well,
certain type of reverence that they expect the suitor to be,
right. Well,
regardless of what the daughter feels.
what does the daughter have to say about it, right? If does she care about that, or she doesn't?
That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah.
Then the question,
By the way, there's not a real person.
right,
We're
right.
just making this up.
Well, then the question, then is, what's the relationship between the kid and the parent, right? If she's close to her parents, then it does matter. It does matter. You have to, you know, um, it has something to do with like ego too, right? I think. Eh, Why?
Okay,
Because
explain that.
here's the thing, right? If the parents wanted things done a certain way and you wanted things done a different way, right? So one has to give in, right? Unless you guys want to strike that balance, between the two. And that's what I meant by ego, right? If if
I still don't
you
get
if
it.
well, go by what the parents think. If that's what they think, they should, you know, if they think that's what's best for their daughter, then that's what you should do. Assuming that you're willing to, go through that, because that just shows your dedication, right? But then you're like, screw this. I don't really want to, you know, um, deal with your parents. Then don't,
So if you okay, I get
you know
what
what
you're
I mean?
saying. So if you're the guy and you don't want to do that because you don't believe in that culture anymore, and it has nothing to do with being right or wrong, are you being disrespectful because you're not conforming to the culture and you're
Then
just
yeah,
you're basically just like, this is what I believe,
that's what I mean.
no.
That's what I'm
Yeah, so
saying though. It's ego.
is
That's what I'm
that
saying though. It's ego, right?
I
It
still don't get this ego thing. Like, what's that? It's not.
well, fuck.
What's the ego got to do with
Let
anything, dude?
it ha
What's ego got to do with it?
well.
Explain it to me. I don't understand.
I am. When I say ego, I'm talking about your own beliefs, right? Like this is what I fucking believe, and here's what you should, take. What here's what I believe, and you should take it. Parents is doing this. The parents doing the same thing. Well, here's what I believe, and you should take it. Because if you don't take it, then you're being disrespectful, and you're like, well, if you don't take mine, then you're also disrespecting my own culture or the way I do things, right? Someone has to give, and parents are not going to give in for sure because
Okay,
you're the one who wants their daughter.
if the son doesn't give in, is he being disrespectful?
um this is where I'm going to be like, well, define disrespectful, right? I'd say yes. Yeah, yeah, he's being
Mm,
disrespectful because then if you respect the parents, the parents belief, if you're respecting their belief that that's what's best for their daughter, then you are disrespecting it.
right, right. Okay, I'm gonna put it in a simple term
Okay.
than this. If you're a dude, a
Hmm.
non-Asian dude, that for the first time, it's your first time going inside an Asian person's house. You don't believe in taking off your
that
shoes,
that 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 makes a
or
difference. Hold on, that
oh,
makes a big
wait,
difference.
wait, wait. You don't believe that you don't care about taking shoes off, but you're in someone else's house. You're someone else's property. You you know you don't. It has nothing to do with your beliefs. You respect the person's rules under that person's house. And with the whole legal and with the whole like culture and respect, by trying to date someone else's daughter, you're kind of going under someone's roof per se, because that's someone's kid. And regardless of what your beliefs, you should always try to yield out of respect.
Yes.
to, you
Yes.
know,
Yes.
the
Uh,
person.
but here's
That's my take to that.
but you said something that changes everything. When you said non-Asian or non-Filipino, changes everything, right? If you're a
Why?
parent,
Why does it change
oh,
everything?
of course, if you're a parent, if you're a Filipino parent and you see, like, and you see a person who is from a different ethnicity, right? What were you thinking for them to realize that they should believe what you believe? Totally different culture.
That's racist, bro. Because respect is respect, regardless of what race, creed, or culture. Doesn't matter. So if someone
It
is
does. It
white,
does matter.
if someone else is
It does
white, someone
matter.
else is black, does that mean they're above a certain standard of our Asian culture?
That's not
Nah,
what I'm
B.
saying. That's not
Nah,
what I'm
B.
saying. That's not what I'm
You
saying.
you as
Like,
a racist.
no, no, no. Here's what I'm saying. If I'm the
Get
parent,
your get your
if
racist
I'm the,
belief out of here.
if I'm the parents, right, and I see a non-Filipino dude trying to get with my daughter, then obviously I'd be like, well, this person's not Filipino, and therefore whatever standards that I have, well, I can't really expect him to do any of that. This person doesn't
Mm,
have any clue. But
well,
if the person is Filipino, then I'm like, okay, then I should expect you to do some Filipino shit.
but if it's a Filipino person who's born in America, what's the difference?
There's a difference. Then it falls down to the parents, right? It is
Okay.
there's a difference.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
It
See,
is then it becomes between
I
parents, right?
like the standards thing because for me, like if I was in your shoes with that situation, I'd be like, you're saying like, oh, if it's a non-Asian person, whether white or black or whatever, it's they don't know. They don't know the culture. But if I
Yeah.
raise my daughter right, then my daughter would be able to be like, listen, this is my family. If you're gonna want to be with me, you're gonna have to you're gonna have to play ball.
Well,
This
then if
these are the rules in my household. These are the rules in my little game. You're gonna have to play under these rules.
then that's what you should
Regard
follow, right?
Yeah, regardless of.
They've made movies out of that stuff,
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely.
right? Like, so that's what I mean. Then you have to yield. You have to
Even
yield.
like Yeah, even like subcultures in the US or Canada, like,
Hmm.
like the white people, black people, you know, Hispanics.
Hmm.
That's still like a little bit of difference in the culture, like subcultures.
Yeah,
So
and there should be, right? Like even with Filipinos, if you grew up in North America, you have a different set of beliefs, right?
yeah, you're always gonna be more accustomed to the place
Right,
that you're at,
right.
regardless of what your race is.
So now, if this person you're trying to get with is some hardcore Filipino who still believe in their who brought their culture back home, then you're just asking for some, I'd say, challenge, right? That's all it is. And if you're willing to go through that challenge, then good. If not, go find someone else. Parents are
Challenge.
parents. What I'm trying to say is, like, there shouldn't even be a question um of being respectful or disrespectful. I think a more important question you need to ask yourself is it even worth it? If it's not, go find something else. Same thing with jobs. Not happy?
No, I
Find
think
something else.
I think it's still not respectful, disrespectful. It's if you wanna,
We're
I
talking
go
about
back to the
beliefs here,
whole.
though. We're talking about
Oh,
beliefs,
just
though,
beliefs.
right? Well,
Yeah.
that's what
Oh,
I mean. Like the parents have their own way of thinking things, and you have your own way of thinking things, right? So now, if the parents does not really respect your way of thinking things, then you should respect theirs. But if you don't, and this is where like I keep talking about ego, right? Someone has to give in. Now,
I think it's more of a what if the parent. It's obviously important enough for the parents, and
uh
if this isn't really important to you, like, what's the point of fighting it? Sometimes you just got to yield. like what you said.
Yep.
Sometimes
Yep.
you just out of respect. If you respect them, that's why like this whole ego crap. I'm not following the ego thing because it's not about ego. It's more of like ideas and your will.
Well,
It's not about like it's not about I don't see the ego part in it. That's why I'm
the
having like a struggle with your comparison.
my analogy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when I say ego, I'm not really talking about um your own belief system. You're trying to shove it into someone else's.
Yeah, right. And it's like
That's
eh,
where my ego is coming
yeah.
from.
If we want to boil down to it, like what you said with the whole like if it's is it worth it or not? Like, do you like this girl enough? You know, if this girl is
Yeah.
if this girl or boy, if
And
you
and and
like
and,
them enough.
and the girl has to weigh in too, right?
Yeah, I mean, and obviously, if you're meeting the
There's
person's parents, it's got to be some kind of serious.
and here's the other thing. Not always, fuck. Not always. But and again, like
Uh,
the more specific you are with your question, the
hmm
the more specific my answer is gonna get. But if you're generic, then obviously my answer is probably gonna be like,